Today's beginner's guide to Yusha is a brief overview of my experiences with these anime over the past 6 months. If you'd like to learn more about any entry, my full video reviews are linked in the description. The Yusha franchise is a collection of 8 unrelated super robot series sharing a similar atmosphere, each running about 50 episodes. From the kid-friendly to the most complex, they're filled with comedy, anime references, colorful characters, detailed transformations, exciting mech and kaiju battles, plus tons of Transformers G1 nostalgia. Considering the lingering void for my favorite childhood cartoon, these were welcome experiences. Like Transformers, Yusha robots are sentient, transforming machines occasionally developed just as much as their human counterparts. So if you've been missing the wisdom and leadership of Optimus Prime, the friendly Big Brother Bumblebee, or the overwhelming power of combiners like Devastator and Superion, you're in for a treat. In many ways, Yusha was like the spiritual successor to Transformers, considering the 6-year gap between Zone and Beast Wars. Some robots were even modeled after unused Transformer designs or reskinned and rebranded toys, while others were just an homage. However, Yusha's unique flair makes these instances feel more like references or Easter eggs amid the crowd of beautifully designed original robots. Moving on to the shows, they're unrelated, so you can watch them in any order provided you keep an open mind to its wackiness and don't try to marathon them. However, I watched them chronologically and enjoyed their gradual stylistic continuity. 1990s X-Kaiser is the type of anime perfect for father-son bonding, as it's the most kid-friendly on this list and has the highest saturation of Transformers references. The story follows a young boy whose father's fancy car is inhabited by an alien spirit, becoming his wholesome mentor, similar to an Optimus Prime Bumblebee hybrid. However, my favorite part was its comical villains, who are basically evil Dinobots. Ironically, they're here to steal treasures without knowing what's of value. With TV as their window to human culture, they're foolishly influenced into stealing things of subjective value, like amusement park rides, grandmas, and truckloads of cigarettes. Every member of its cast is equally comical and quirky, from the boy's family to his best friends and even their enemies. It's an episodic narrative splitting action and character interaction equally. Although its heavy use of lengthy transformation and final attack animations diminished my enjoyment of some episodes, X-Kaiser is otherwise well balanced and consistently enjoyable. I recommend it to anyone looking for a comical, relaxing, and heartwarming experience. My overall enjoyment score is a B. 1991's Firebird is the anime from the "Is This a Pigeon" meme. For context, the guy is an android with an alien spirit, so his body is strong enough to ride a bike faster than cars on a speedy chase, but his mind is gullible enough to donate blood he doesn't have. In addition to its humor, it's equally wholesome as he becomes the equivalent of a goofy uncle to his little buddy on their quest to vanquish evil. Firebird prioritizes dynamic characters and exciting action more than its predecessor. This time, the stakes are higher and the evil mechs and monsters are more threatening. I like their step towards a more serious experience, but unfortunately, its uninteresting major villains were a hindrance until its final third. Overall, I give Firebird a C. It's a non-linear evolution, but hasn't quite found its footing. I recommend it for the same reasons as X-Kaiser, but it's more action-oriented. 1992's Dagarn is my favorite of the franchise. For the first time, they adopt a linear plotline depicting an alien empire sweeping the galaxy in search of fuel. The story follows a semi-delinquent teen bestowed with the overwhelming burden of protecting Earth alongside his new robot companions. Despite sounding generic, its execution elevated it to my all-time favorite super robot anime. The protagonist, his family, girlfriend, robots, and even some villains and tertiary characters are surprisingly well developed. This, coupled with suspenseful reveals, competent and menacing villains, intense battles, and an epic ending make for an emotional and unforgettable experience. In addition, it's the only Yusha entry with an entirely linear plotline that's marathon-friendly. Overall, Dagarn gets an S rank for transcending the super robot subgenre, creating an experience I think most anime fans would love. Unfortunately, 1993's Might Guine is Yusha's low point, though only half of that is its fault. Because most of these series were never localized, they rely on fan translations. Currently, it's only available on a muddy Korean DVD rip using an English translator, and it shows. While I found the translation mostly bearable, I had to watch some episodes raw. Might Guine returns to an episodic format following the heir to a wealthy railway empire in a bustling crime-filled city. It's Transformers meets Batman and Gundam. Similarly, the anime introduces numerous recurring comic book themed villains, which were my favorite part. Although the setting is somewhat dark, watching a satirical villain based on ancient Japanese culture or a wealthy out-of-touch narcissist ransack the city was a comical counterbalance. I love that they're comical, but developed just enough to keep them from being one-dimensional. Unfortunately, I found the protagonist uninteresting as his business-oriented lifestyle prevented the memorable character interactions prevalent in Yusha anime. Thankfully, its supporting cast, anti-hero, and villains shine with enough personality and complexity to compensate. Surprisingly, its final third kicks action into overdrive, featuring many tense battles seemingly ripped straight out of the Gundam universe. While it's initially jarring, it provided enough drama and suspense to add an exclamation point to what was otherwise a mixed bag of quality. I give Might Guine a C. I recommend it to anyone looking for something similar to X-Kaiser or Firebird but a little more mature. It's still worth watching, but you need patience with its picture and translation quality, neither of which impacted its rank. 1994's Jay Decker was the first entry to prioritize robots and humans equally. Mechs in previous entries were sentient but underdeveloped compared to humans. The anime revolves around a young boy becoming an honorary police officer after befriending their prototype robot. As his special police force grows, their interactions reveal some deep characterization. These machines have fears, internal and external struggles, and are capable of mourning. Jay Decker evolves from Might Guine, becoming more thematically mature. Its episodic plot alternates between mysterious, morally gray crime dramas and the wacky adventures you've come to expect from Yusha. I think it fills a unique gap I didn't know I needed, leaving me craving more. Imagine Detective Conan, but robots as sidekicks instead of children. If that doesn't sound compelling enough, one is inspired by Die Hard's John McClane, and the other uses a giant soccer ball as a weapon. I give Jay Decker an A. 1995's Gold Run offers the most adventurous atmosphere in the franchise. I see it as similar to the good parts of Dragon Ball GT, where everyone races around searching for magical items leading them to exciting and comical places. For example, one is run by children where everything is so cute and tiny, or the Wild West country inhabited by robot cowboys, bandits, and farmers. I love the dynamic between our heroes and main villain, as it's the most comical adversarial relationship since X-Kaiser. He was actually my favorite character. I thought its first half was good, but its second half doubled my enjoyment, taking its action, comedy, and adventure elements to the max. I give Gold Run an A. It was a lot of fun, and while its art style was a bit jarring at first, I think it totally matches the anime's character. 1996's Dagwon is closer to Super Sentai than Transformers, offering the most unique combat in the franchise. Our group of heroes transform into power suits, battling close quarters before summoning their mechs and combining as a last resort. However, I was initially underwhelmed by the development of such a large cast due to its runtime. You can accomplish a lot in 50 episodes, and I felt they could have done better. Instead, they prioritized action, becoming the second most combat-intensive entry in the franchise. In hindsight, it's not that big of a deal because I still like some of their characters and enjoyed their brief development arc. In addition, I enjoyed its combat more than any Super Sentai I've seen. It just made sense that their power suits actually have powers correlating with their mechs, making their teamwork more exciting. I'm giving it a B because Super Sentai anime are uncommon, and I thought they did a great job conveying the experience in another medium. If you enjoy anime like Saint Seiya, Ronin Warriors, or grew up with Power Rangers, then it's worth a watch. 1997's Gao Gaiga is the 90s Gurren Lagann. It's the most action-packed, high-energy entry in the franchise and one of the most beautifully animated mecha ever. The story follows a group of lovable, quirky heroes with mysterious and dramatic pasts attempting to stop aliens from mechanizing the Earth. It's generally considered the best Yusha entry, but I disagree because the show set my expectations high and only delivers with its presentation. It's the longest Yusha entry, yet its character development and exposition lack in comparison to earlier entries. If its action and character interactions were better balanced, similar to Dagarn, Jay Decker, or Gold Run, it would easily be a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, it's just too much of a good thing and not enough of other good things, so I give it a C+. I recommend GaoGaiga to anyone who loves mech action. 1999's Better Man is technically in the GaoGaiga universe, but you're better off ignoring that connection and watching them for their own merit, since they're tantamount to Leiji Matsumoto-style continuity. Their contributions to each other is minuscule, and the most substantial instances feel tacked on at best. However, Better Man is a good anime that needs more viewers, so check out my review if you like spooky psychological sci-fi mysteries. I've also linked that review in the video description. Here's a brief look at the final rankings and my fancy artwork. To make your decisions easier, I've included 3 more lists based on my enjoyment of specific aspects. Feel free to pause or take screenshots. The character list reflects everyone in each entry and how well they fulfill their roles given the story's context. Next up are comedy and action, which are pretty straightforward. Again, none are bad, but they have different priorities, and these lists are for you to choose based on yours. Overall, I had a blast with Yusha and welcome more anime like them. It's a shame the franchise only spanned a decade, but at least its spirit still lives on through its fans. Unfortunately, we're the only ones keeping its memory alive, especially in the West. Many of these anime desperately need a remaster, and as far as I can tell, they've never been localized outside of GaoGaiga and Better Man. So if you come to love Yusha, tell your friends. They'll probably enjoy it if they keep an open mind. After all, before this project, I wasn't a big fan of Super Robot anime either, and it's been 6 months of joy. Thanks to Nia-chan for 3rd-tier Patreon support, and to all my supporters listed here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon with my beginner's guide to Gegege no Kitaro.